here is every wager I placed at UFC 323. The reason I'm saying wager and not is because YouTube has these guidelines recently where I don't really know what I'm allowed to say or promote. So I don't want to step on any toes. I'm not trying to get a strike on my YouTube channel. So here's every wager I placed at UFC 323. First off, here's every fight that I'm not wagering on for various reasons, starting with Muhammad Naimov and Myron Santos. I think this fight is going to play out very close. I do see a path to victory for Naimov with takedowns. I think Santos wins a very, very close decision. I don't want to parlay Santos. The price tag is off. I don't want to do a long shot on Naimov. I don't think he's going to win. So there's that. Faraz Ziam and Nazim Sadikov. I think the sheep pick of the week is Nazim Sadikov. He's the underdog. The line has not moved. He's being picked by a majority of people on Tapology. I love Nazim Sadikov, but this week I'm going with Faraz Ziam by decision. Not confident enough to whatsoever. We also got Jan Blachowicz and Bogdan Guskov. I think Bogdan Guskov wins this matchup. I think he wins by later round KO. Blachowicz, he's going to come out with his double knee pads. But with all that being said, there is an extreme path to victory for Blachowicz. If he just gets the takedowns on Guskov, he's going to make it look very free. So I don't really know which outcome's going to happen enough to put a on it. So we're skipping that one. And Brandon Moreno and Tatsuro Taira. In this one, I have Tatsuro Taira to win. I think Brandon Moreno is yet another sheep pick. He's being picked by a majority of people on Tapology. He remains the underdog, and I think there's a reason for that. Brandon Moreno's recent performances, he looks kind of mid. He lost to Royval, so did Taira. Everyone's like, oh, Taira lost to Royval. Well, so did Brandon Moreno. I think Taira wins by decision. I can see him winning by sub, but not confident enough to it's more just going against the sheep army. First fight we got on is Mansur Abdul-Malik taking on Antonio Trocoli. And in this one, I think everyone and their grandma is going to be picking and Mansur by KO. Granted, I also have Mansur by KO selected, but recently, Abdul Rahman Yakyayev, he was minus 1600. He was supposed to go out there and knock out Rafael Cerqueira in round one. He finds the submission instead. We also had Jacoby Smith. He was minus 1600 against Nico Price. He was supposed to go out there and find the KO. He goes out there and finds the sub. In this one, Trocoli is coming off a guillotine loss. Mansur Abdul-Malik has a guillotine submission on his resume. I think we can see a finish here from Mansur, but I'm going to do a long shot for the first wager I have. We're going with Mansur Abdul-Malik to win this fight by submission. Yes, the pick is KO. But Mansur by sub, plus 700. I just gave, a reasonings why minus 1200s don't always find the KO. And in this one, Trocoli always looks for the door. I think he's going to put his head into a guillotine by Mansur. And Mansur finds the sub, plus 700 for a minus 1200. And it's a finish outcome. I like it. Next fight we got on is Ibo Aslan taking on Iwo Baranowski. And in this one, Baranowski simply just does not have the MMA experience for me to back him as a favorite. Ibo Aslan, on the other hand, he's got 4 fights in the UFC. Granted, he's had back-to-back mid-performances, but we have no idea what this Baranowski guy is. He could be worse than Billy Alicana. He could be way worse than Jan Kudalaba, both guys who defeated Ibo Aslan. So for those reasons, Ibo Aslan's going to have the power upside here. And as long as he defends the takedowns, I think he's got a very, very viable path. So we're going with Ibo Aslan. 1 unit on his money line, plus 154. As you can see, he was plus 165. So people are wagering on this man. We have no idea what Baranowski is. So I'm taking a shot on Ibo. Next fight we got on is Marvin Vettori taking on Bruno Ferreira. And in this one, it's very simple. We got Marvin Vettori, who's never been finished, taking on Bruno Ferreira, who's never won by decision. So I got Marvin Vettori to win. He's got the UFC experience upside. He's fought nothing but top 15 contenders for the past 10 years. Bruno Ferreira, this is his biggest step up in competition to date. So for those reasons, I don't think Marvin Vettori is going to find a finish. If he were to win, it would be by decision. So we got 1 unit on Marvin Vettori by decision, plus 165, and that's a pretty good number. There's a chance that maybe he finds the sub on Bruno Ferreira, like maybe round 2, round 3. I guess that's a long shot prop, but Vettori is a decision machine. Bruno does not win decisions, therefore, logically, makes sense to put a unit on Vettori decision. Next fight we got to bet on is Terrance McKinney taking on Chris Duncan. And in this one, I think this is the perfect matchup for Terrance McKinney to go out there and just shoot takedowns, find the sub early. I think Chris Duncan, his takedown defense is quite mid. His takedown defense is not even defense. It's just a guillotine. If Terrance McKinney does not get guillotined in the first round, he will find the finish on the ground, I believe. I think his wrestling is top-notch. I think his grappling is top-notch. Chris Duncan, I feel like he's been getting away with meme victory after meme victory after meme victory. I don't think beating Mateusz Rebecki is enough to elevate you to the top 15 of lightweight, and I think Terrance McKinney just struggles with top 15 of lightweight. Chris Duncan is not in that realm at the moment, so I like Terrance McKinney to win. I like his active style. I think he's going to go out there and find the sub. Next fight we got to bet on is Grant Dawson taking on Manuel Torres, and this is very similar to Chris Duncan and Terrance McKinney because, number one, Grant Dawson and Chris Duncan train together, okay. Number two, Manuel Torres and Terrance McKinney notoriously are both round one finish merchants, and number three, Chris Duncan has been completely flatlined in round one and submitted in round one. And you look at Grant Dawson, he's been flatlined in 30 seconds twice in his career. Manuel Torres has made a career off of flatlining fighters early. So for those reasons, here we go. We got one unit on Manuel Torres, plus 180 on the money line. I don't hate Manuel Torres round 1 KO. That's like about plus 300. You can get Grant Dawson for decision plus 400. That's interesting. Manuel Torres money line plus 180. That's what I'm doing. Or you could even do Manuel Torres round 1 KO. That's about plus 300. Like in all those plays, but the one I'm going with is Manuel on the money line. Next fight we got to bet on is Henry Cejudo taking on Payton Talbot. And in my picks prediction video, the guarantee I made for this card was Payton Talbot versus Cejudo goes the distance. The problem with that is currently minus 200. And you know me, I don't really put a wager on minus 200. So I think Payton Talbot wins, and I think this fight goes the distance. You put those two together, we got one unit on Payton Talbot to win this fight by decision, plus 105. You know, the finish is on the table. But the way Cejudo fights, I don't think he's going to put himself in danger, especially in his retirement fight. I think this fight goes the distance, and I think Payton Talbot does enough on the feet to win this fight. Next fight we got to bet on is Alexandre Pantoja taking on Josh Van, and I'm just going to leave it like this. Pantoja is in the midst of a dominant reign. He's a dominant champ. They're just shoving Joshua Van up the rankings. He hasn't really been truly tested in the grappling department. Yes, he fought Ray Saruya, who attempted 20-plus takedowns on him, but Pantoja, I think, is just way better than Ray Saruya. I think he's got better wrestling than Ray Saruya. I think he's got better submission game than Ray Saruya. So for those reasons, the pick here is Pantoja, right? But the is going to be Pantoja sub 1 unit plus 150. It's a 5-round fight. Joshua Van's never been 5 rounds. I'm assuming at some point in the fight, it'll look like the Kai Kara France fight where there's just no hope for Joshua Van to win because Pantoja is just that dominant in the grappling. And eventually, I think we'll get a mercy stoppage with the sub. I'm saying round 3, round 4. Next fight we got to bet on is Merab Dvalishvili taking on Petr Yan. I'm not going to bore you with a long explanation. Petr Yan is plus 340. He is a former champ. This is a rematch. All Petr Yan has thought about since the first fight was probably getting back and rematching Merab. He's definitely hammered takedown defense. Petr Yan had a shoulder and a hand injury in the first Merab fight. I think there's enough here to go 1 unit on Petr Yan money line, plus 350. If you think about it, out of all the bantamweight contenders, maybe outside of Umar, Petr Yan has the best chance to dethrone Merab. Also, take into account, Merab, this is his 4th fight this year. 4th time cutting weight this year. Every time you see him in an interview in fight week, he looks drained, tired. So at some point, I think that's going to catch up to him. I think this is the perfect spot for it to happen. You look last year, or you look at Alex Pereira and Khalil Roundtree. I think that was Pereira's 3rd or 4th fight of the year. And it showed. He looked very slow. He looked very sluggish. Yes, he found the finish on Roundtree, but he still looked slow. And he almost got knocked out by Roundtree with his savage head kick. So I think we see something similar in this fight. Petr Yan, by decision, low-key, maybe even gets the knockout. We've seen Merab chinned, maybe not like actually flatlined, but we've definitely seen him like, even by Cejudo. Cejudo was able to make him go. So I don't think this is a bad wager. We also got a parlay. We only have one on the entire card. This is my two most confident picks of the card jammed into one parlay. Let's get into it. Leg number one, we got Jalin Turner. Minus 300 against Edson Barboza. I think Barboza's over the hill. If you're losing a decision to Drakkar Klose without takedowns being involved, I just can't pick you anymore. And yeah, there's that. Leg number two is going to be Maycee Barber, money line. I think she's just levels above Karine Silva. She was preparing for Erin Blanchfield in her last fight, and I think Karine Silva is like a Temu version of Erin Blanchfield. So Maycee Barber to win. I think she can get the late finish or even win by decision. Jalin Turner to win. I think he can win by KO, sub, or decision. I'm going to put 2 units on plus 104. And the Finz Hammerlock, my weekly most confident underdog pick of the card. We have a lot of underdogs pick this card. We have a lot of wagers on underdogs on this card. But the one that I'm most confident in, the one that I see winning in dominant fashion, is going to be Manuel Torres. Plus 180. Listen, Grant Dawson is chinny. He's been knocked out cold in the first 30 seconds in 2 different MMA fights. Manuel Torres, all he does is fire gas in the opening round. Grant Dawson, if the takedowns don't work, this is going to look very, very easy and free. Obviously, if the takedowns do work, this is going to be a questionable take, but I'm going with Manuel Torres. I think he finds the round 1 KO. Thank you for getting to the end of another episode of Finz Chats. I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know in the comments what your favorite wager is this weekend, your favorite plus money wager, and if it hits, I'll shout you out in the next video. I don't have a long shot or decent long shot parlay for this card simply because I think it's just bad to give those out. All right, lately my parlays have just not been hitting. I'm down a few units, and I just don't want to bring everyone down with me. So no long shots. I made my takes. I made my case. Let's see if we can make money this weekend.